So Boyd and Johnson both back for NC State as they come down to Tallahassee. Seminoles in white on their home floor, NC State in black.
This is a hard-driving, right-handed team in Florida State that likes to score on the right side of the floor. They will mix up their defenses and try to keep NC State off balance.
See that starting five for the Wolfpack. Johnson along with Madison Hayes, Jakia Brown-Turner, Boyd, and Hobby, and a three to get things started for Florida State. Tenaya Letson, then the story of the season, Sarah Bajetti coming off a great game. Massengill, Howard, and Timpson.
Keeping Latson out of the paint is a challenge. NC State needs to be on top of their personnel scout, knowing who they can help off of and where they can give help to Latson.
Offensive rebound by Hobby. She puts it back.
So I love that NC State comes out, runs America's play, reject the screen, drive baseline, rescreen, and Madison Hayes, who just hits a triple, takes another look.
Here she goes again. 2 drives, 2 baskets, 4 points for Latson. Johnson coming off the screen. This Florida State team will go if they get the opportunity. Timpson in the paint.
Of course, it's better for NC State if they're making Florida State take it out of the net.
87.3 points per game, Debbie, for this Florida State team. You talked about how well they score. Top in the league. And there's another basket. Good start so far offensively as Massengill, the transfer from Kentucky, has 2.
Well, so far, I haven't seen either team really get in a stance defensively.
Kia Brown-Turner, senior, rounding out. Latson looking at options. Gets it inside.
Well, early on, Florida State looks dialed in. And they have been getting the shots that they want. This is a really tough contested 3. Too early in the shot clock and no passes in the offense.
Seminoles coming off their first ACC loss of the season against Boston College in overtime in their last game. And Brooke Wyckoff said this team bounces back.
It is exciting, and I'm anxious to see how Florida State responds coming off a loss to Boston College. Sarah Bajetti at the line. She's asking her team to be consistent. And she said they've been bringing that consistent level of energy to practice every day.
Good start, 12-5 for the Seminoles, who've lost 5 in a row in the series against NC State. These 2 teams met up in the ACC tournament quarterfinals last year, en route to the Wolfpack winning the tournament title. Bajetti got through everybody.
Yeah,
And Wes Moore wants a timeout. He often is the emotional leader for this team. He's looking for a little more of that response from some of his players. He made some substitutions in that timeout. River Baldwin, former Florida State Seminole #1, is on the floor, as is Tenaya Rivers. Rivers from Andalusia, Alabama, had gone to watch Florida State play and obviously spent 3 years there before transferring as a graduate this year to NC State. Timpson just barely keeping the ball as there are a lot of arms of Wolfpack players and fingertips in there to disrupt. Isaiah James also on the floor for NC State, and she scores. Moore looking for some personnel that's going to give him the effort he wants to see with his team down on the road right now.
But here's the thing, Jen. If you do what NC State is doing, one pass and a shot or a quick trigger on the other end, you're fueling right into Florida State's tempo. That is a beautiful 3 by Sarah Bajetti coming off that career-high 26.
Yeah, I think she's still feeling it. She was shooting the ball well from 3.
I mean, hands down. And you have to know the scout. It's one of the first things I said early on. You better know the personnel for Florida State.
Latson.
Let him get to that right hand.
They've proven tough to stop so far. 19-10 Florida State lead. Latson has 6. Bajetti was 7. Baldwin in the paint and out. Jetty, she's not afraid to go left, and she gets fouled. Baldwin on the foul. You're talking about, Debbie, have come along with Bill Ferrara, who joined Big Wyckoff's staff this year as an associate head coach, and she's talked about that pace and space offense, right, which has certainly paid dividends so far.
Well, I think Brooke is smart, and I think she's hardworking, and I think she understands what it takes to win in this league. She's been a part of the league since '97. So she's seen a transition inside the league to why the product is so good right now.
Collins likes that baseline jumper. She's got a couple of them for NC State. That is a blocking foul. If it's Baldwin, and looks like it is, it's going to be her second personal.
Right side of the floor versus what they do on the left side. So far, everything is very right-hand dominant and very much to the right side.
Valencia Myers rolling to her right. Myers and Gordon, Omaria Gordon in off the bench for Florida State at the moment. Mariana Valenzuela out there as well, and the player just committed the foul, Taylor O'Brien.
So she's already drawn a couple of fouls on the Florida State front line.
That extra emotion, Debbie, of facing your former team can be a good thing, can add some fuel.
For sure.
I'd say so. She led the Boston College Eagles in that upset, was named ACC Player of the Week for her efforts. Nice drive there from Valenzuela.
So what you have to do is either help more from the left side and pinch, or not let them get to the right side at all by guarding, keeping the ball from getting over there. Don't let them reverse it.
Good offensive possession there for NC State. Now we'll see how they do on defense. No, it's an open look for Gordon. Sanaya Rivers, who played so well when she was having to play more minutes, with Diamond Johnson out, still trying to have a positive impact because her potential is so great. Transfer from South Carolina. Valenzuela, spin move in the paint. She has 6 now.
In this first quarter, they're third in the nation in points per game. And NC State has taken 8 3-point attempts of their 16 field goals, Jen. So half their shots have come outside the arc, while Florida State is looking to attack off the bounce.
Rivers pulls up, it's good. A high-scoring quarter so far for the ACC's highest-scoring team. Florida State looking to add maybe a couple more before this first quarter's over. Nope, that is an offensive foul called against Valencia Myers.
I think River Baldwin and Valencia Myers know each other's game very well.
Rivers will launch from half court. Not a good look at it, but NC State with 19, the 11th ranked team in the country, trailing Florida State.
Let's see, NC State's coming out of zone here, changing it up. It's not, West likes to play some zone, but we usually don't see it this early in the game. I like the change. They're having trouble keeping them out of the paint.
Miss from Brianna Turnage on her first attempt off the bench for Florida State. So Diamond Johnson, Jada Boyd, Camille Hobby, Jakia Brown-Turner all back out there with Sanaya Rivers. Hobby the rebound. Vegetti. Valenzuela also getting the start in the second quarter for Florida State. Diamond, back to Rivers.
3 defensive possessions for the Wolfpack in zone, and Florida State is 0 for 3. Good coaching change and adjustment by Wes Moore.
Yeah, for a Florida State team that was shooting 71% in the first quarter. Now Diamond Johnson, best three-point shooter on this one.
The NC State zone has been effective. Florida State doesn't have a field goal here in the second quarter.
0 for 6 start. Latson will try to change that. It does.
She has such great feel for the game.
And Diamond Johnson had to shoot it with the shot clock running down. Made a good effort out of it, but couldn't get it to fall. Now can Florida State figure out this zone? That's a good spot, and Massengill makes it. Nope, Seminoles have lost the last 5 in this series. The last time they won was here on their home floor. They upset a top 10 NC State team in that game back in 2019. Latson had it taken away. Rivers says, that's for the block you did a few minutes ago, and then she gets the points in transition to boot.
Yeah, how about the quick hands? And look at the wingspan on Sanaya Rivers. Plays much bigger than her 6'1" frame.
Johnson nearly juked herself out with that move, but she recovered.
Another late shot clock.
Hayes, though, finishes just like she planned it that way.
Look at the push.
Well, Florida State wants that if they can get it. And once again, Timpson tries to go up through about 3 NC State defenders. Can't finish.
She knows she can beat River Baldwin down the floor.
Rivers looking for Baldwin, yes. And after scoring 28 points in the first quarter, Florida State has just 4 here in the second. Massengill pulls up from the free throw line. A little more of that, says Florida State.
Remember what Brooke Wyckoff told us today. You know, Massengill, she expects her to look for more shots. I think she's looking for more offense tonight. She's 3 for 4 from the floor.
Johnson drives to the basket and will go to the free throw line.
Look at this move right here. Just crafty underneath the D, draws the foul, keeps her eyes on the rim. She's taking on a 6'1" long athletic player right there.
And Timpson whistled for the foul on the play. Her first, 6 points in the game for Johnson. And just like that, it is a 1-possession game again. I haven't seen that in a while as Florida State really flexed its muscle, and then Latson says, showtime.
If you watch her game, this is where she gets in the paint and does some damage. River Baldwin's in the restricted area, but River Baldwin late getting there. Latson's so quick.
And it was the 3rd foul, Debbie, on Baldwin, so that's going to be something to watch for as this one goes on. Rivers just stepped out of bounds, loses it.
Now, we're not there because we're in our home studios to count the panels between the end line, the sideline, and the three-point line. There's usually 17 there, so there's not a lot of space. 17 panels.
Rivers once again with her hand in the passing lane, takes it away, dishes to Johnson. Pretty play in transition.
NC State, since Wes Moore benched his starters early in the first quarter, has played much better as a team.
Gotta watch out for Valenzuela, though. The sophomore, 6'2", out of Mexico, can knock down the 3. She's shooting at almost 58% for the season from 3. And Diamond Johnson's feeling it. I think you're right, Debbie. That message got sent
early in the first quarter.
And Boyd is still yet to score, just 2 points for Hobby.
Zone by Florida State. I thought going to the zone against Boston College helped Florida State in that game on the road.
3 to shoot, Boyd.
And it's not just because Jada Boyd ends up with the ball in her hands. The whole thing wasn't smart. The whole play.
Have to imagine Latson gets it back again here at some point in this possession. Leading scorer in the ACC, but time running out. The Jennings is forced to take a long 3, and that's a good way to end the first half of your Florida State. Florida State started the second quarter 2 for 13 from the floor, but they finished making their last four, went on a 6-0 run over the last minute, and now start this third quarter with a 10-point lead over number 11, NC State. Wolfpack in black with the ball. Jada Boyd, no points in the first half, has it blocked, goes down awkwardly. Seminoles on the break, but Jetty has time to line it up. NC State ball. And that is not a good sight, as Jada Boyd was hurt to figure out how to play without her already this season. They don't want to go there again. She averages 10.8 points per game, is one of the best free throw shooters. In fact, the best free throw shooter in the conference, 94%. Hits just under 50% of her field goals, and now Wes Moore says not again. Mimi Collins checking into the game as Boyd has to come out. Here's Collins with the basketball. Diamond Johnson left open. Latson swings it over to Massengill.
NC State
starting 5 on the floor. Then Bugetti had that three from the logo. 13 in the game for Bugetti. Brown Turner still doesn't have any points. She averages 9.5 for NC State. Timpson gets an open look inside.
Right now, I think it's about pride for NC State. I mean, are you willing to get a stop? Are you willing to get in a stance? Are you going to move the ball for the extra shot? The extra pass?
Bugetti, only Seminole up the floor. Well, that's a pretty good outcome. The foul, the basket, and a free throw coming.
They have done a nice job getting up the floor. They share the ball. They're getting it to the right side, and they are running the floor hard. Bugetti does a good job of drawing this foul right here.
First personal foul on Diamond Johnson. And Bugetti has all 5 points in the quarter so far for the Seminoles. Well, Timpson had 2, excuse me. Timpson did have that look inside. Hayes. Offensive rebound from Collins. Presents another opportunity, but it's not finished. Latson goes right in. Collins from the corner. Way off. Latson beats them both. This freshman is something special for Florida State.
5 for their last 5, and most of them are layups. If you don't stop the ball, it is going to be a layup drill for Florida State. And Latson, as I mentioned earlier, if you don't see 2 hips and 2 shoulders, she is taking it to the rack. And she's explosive, and she is determined.
The game in Raleigh with Duke and NC State, just because I wanted to see her in person. And watching her now, the first game that I've had a chance to call from her, it really does seem to come to her so smoothly. And Johnson's certainly smooth on the triple. Much needed points for NC State.
Well, NC State comes off the timeout, and they're in zone.
Bugetti was 19 points now for Bugetti, coming off a career-high 26. Collins. NC State playing without Jada Boyd at the moment, who went down in the opening seconds of this third quarter. Awkwardly had to be helped off the floor. Look inside, Timpson.
If NC State's not careful, this 23 could go to 33 very quickly.
Brown Turner. Hobby picks it up and in.
Good hustle by Hobby to get the loose change off the side of the backboard.
Latson. Yep, she can do that too.
What an incredible offensive display by Florida State.
It's almost unfathomable. This team that had so much promise. They're the defending regular season and tournament champs in the ACC. Went to the Elite Eight last year. Did have a lot of turnover, but a lot of faces, you know. And Howard adds to the scoring now for Florida State. What a big week they had, beating both of these teams that are facing off here tonight. Beating NC State when they were in the top 10, and then handing the Seminoles their first ACC loss.
And you have time to do that, but it starts on the defensive end.
That's going to be a charge against Bigetti.
Stops and scores. That's what you're thinking.
Sanaya Rivers gets an open look. 15 to shoot. Bigetti has Myers. She's fouled.
Great delivery.
And yes, she is that rare bird that has been at the same program for all of those 5 years. Been in Florida State since the beginning. And has been a starter for most of her career, Debbie. And so playing a different role this season with the Seminole team that she's got to love what they're doing so far in the ACC especially. Basket does go. Isaiah James has 4 now. Latson works off the screen, gets in the lane, makes it look just so easy.
Neither has bothered her. She has been fantastic from the beginning.
21 points, and you see why. This is a player that averages almost 25 points per game, tops in the ACC, 5th in the country. Good putback by Collins. Latson.
I mean, definition of ticket-selling player. Throw the hashtag out there right now because she is unbelievable.
If you live in Tallahassee and you're not coming to games and watch this young woman play, what are you doing? Watch her on TV. Watch when they go on the road. She's special.
Look, when Florida State goes on the road, buy your ticket to go see this kid play. Fearless.
Seminoles will be at home for their next game. Louisville coming in here as Latson just continues what she does. Score in the basket. They, I would think, had a chance to get into the top 25 before that loss at Boston College.
Let her keep playing.
Under a minute to play in the third quarter. Wolfpack trying to take a little momentum as Rivers beats everybody down the floor. And I want you to come at me, and I know you vote top 25 every week. I'm curious about this Florida State team getting a top 25 and how far they could go. We're going to talk about that fourth quarter. Don't tell me now. We'll do it when we come back. Well, a little bit of confusion on the floor. I believe that's the end of the third quarter.
And for me, I've been an AP poll voter for 12 years, so I look at, obviously, results. I look at injuries. I look at the net. I look at who you play, when you play, where you play them. I look at the rest of the national landscape. There's a lot of other teams that can play well inside conference play as River Baldwin draws another try.
Nothing exists in a bubble. They all impact one another. I appreciate always hearing your perspective on that, Debbie. Bigetti.
And Florida State has multiple backcourt players.
Timpson's had a few. Valenzuela off the bench for Florida State. Massagull even picked her moments. Past first point guard from Kentucky that led the SEC in assists last year. I imagine the part of you that wants more. Where does this Wolfpack team go from here. And again, Jada Boyd went out early in this third quarter. We've not had an update yet on her status.
Well, first of all, Jen, for 35 years I've been sitting in this chair calling games, so I have removed the emotion of being an NC State player. Everyone knows that I'm going to be fair and balanced, and sometimes I'm actually harder on NC State, I think, if anything. Wes has been doing this for 34 years at a very high level and very successfully. They've won the last 3 ACC tournament championships. I mean, this is a championship program, and Florida State is really good. It's who you play, when you play, where you play. That has a lot to do with it.
James with the 3 there, and once again, this is a largely bench-made team on the floor for NC State at the moment. Hayes, the only starter still on the floor.
Pat Summitt Award, which recognizes an individual who has demonstrated devotion to the development of college athletics and has had a positive impact on the lives of the people that they are engaged with. And Muffet, congratulations in Pat's name.
Well, thank you, Debbie, for doing that research, and I would say that's a pretty decent excuse. We can let her off the hook for missing ladies' night tonight.
Yeah, it gives us a chance to welcome Lexi Brown, who's a new member of the studio crew. Welcome, Lexi. Good player at Duke.
Duke Blue Devils currently atop the ACC standings.
I think they want to slow it down or take time. I think they want to stay aggressive.
Timpson. Another 3 launched by the Wolfpack. Gordon drives to the basket and then hustles to get her own offensive rebound, all 5'4" of her.
That's great effort. That's just wanting the ball more than your defender.
3 to shoot, got to get a shot off, and she does. Latson got to the baseline. Gordon. Good dish inside. Latson, 26 points in the game for the ACC's leading scorer, above her season average of 24.7. Tanaya Latson had made 38 free throws in a row before that miss.
She is really going to be fun to watch develop, Latson.
Wes Moore has really leaned on his bench to try to bring the effort, intensity, and play that he wants to see on the floor. But he can seem to find a way to stop this phenomenal freshman. Latson, a point away from 30. Huge block by Timpson. Does it better than anybody in the ACC, but Jenny has it blocked on this end. She only started 1 game for Florida State. My, how she has grown this year. In this new look Seminoles team, she's one of the familiar faces, but playing in a new way. And speaking of new faces, Latson just continues to put on a show. Her 6th 30-point game of the season.
I mean, I love watching her. Hashtag ticket selling player. When Florida State's coming to your town, good luck coaches in the league game planning to keep her from getting in the paint. She is tough.
That doesn't count for the Debbie shoot till your arm falls off. Drive till your lips. I don't know.
Smart, competitive, and loves the game. The list goes on and on. Maddie Segrist, who's the nation's leading scorer at Villanova. So we did a little research. I said the other day that 8 of the 15 teams in the ACC have a win over a top 10.
Speak to any number of teams in the ACC that can beat you.
There will not be an easy night in this league, as represented by the way Florida State has played, and Duke, who is on top of the standings right now, is the only undefeated team remaining. It's been a fun year so far. Hope the fans are enjoying it as much as we are.
More women's hoops coming your way on ACCN tonight. Miami and Georgia Tech, the second of our doubleheader tonight. Miami's been playing really well.
Haley Cavender, and she's shooting 44% from the three-point line. She's been fantastic, and I think Destiny Harden might be available tonight. Let's see if she gets a little bit of a run. Miami had a heck of a week last week, knocking off a couple of big-time teams in North Carolina and Virginia Tech.
And doing it without Destiny Harden, to your point.
3 in a row for Miami.
Florida State is about to get back in the winning track after that overtime loss on the road at Boston College, their first ACC loss of the season. I'd say they bounced back.
91 points for the third highest scoring team in the nation.
'91 for Florida State, and for NC State, it's going to be a long, hard look at how to fix whatever didn't go right tonight. They'll continue on the road, go to North Carolina for the next game. Florida State will be welcoming in Louisville on Sunday, but a good win tonight for Brooke Wyckoff's team.